He is one of the most active violinists on the international stage. He is a winner of the International Paganini Competition, rising to great heights in classical music. He studied under renowned violinist Elisabeth and Menuhin and has been playing music for over 30 years. Born in Chengdu and living in Berlin, he spent 9 months a year on tour. Let's talk to classical violinist Ning Feng.
Welcome to ICON.
My pleasure.
And welcome home, I should say. You were born in Sichuan, broadly speaking, welcome home.
Yeah.
This time in Shanghai, you're attending Music China.
Yes.
This exhibition is all about instruments.
Related. Yeah.
Related to instruments.
Yeah.
But about musical instruments, you have a very interesting theory, I gather. It's more about instruments also have personalities.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What do you mean by that?
String instrument that we play nowadays are old. The one actually I've been playing mainly now was made in 1721. So
it's a Stradivari.
Stradivari, yeah. It's almost 300 years. So for that 300 years, there are many, many musicians, and some of them great violinists, using this violin. And so the instrument somehow developed their own personality. One has to get used to it. It's like meeting another person. Yes, sometimes, right on, tuck.
At the point.
At the point, it matches. But sometimes actually it takes a little time to work it out. It can be days, can be weeks, can be months. Of course, there's actually also the possibility that actually nothing really works out at the end. So you just have to give up. Okay, this is a great instrument, but it's not my instrument. It happens all the time.
But violins and violins are different, or what?
Yes, I mean, that's a wonder, because we have some very good motor makers, fantastic violins that they produced. But still, I mean, the last 5% that's coming out from the old Italian instrument, that cannot be copied.
It's time.
It's time.
It's 300 years.
Exactly. But again, the wonder is that nobody's going to be living for another 300 years to hear, I mean, those modern instruments which are being made now, how they are going to be sounding like in 300 years. So, I mean, okay, of course we have recordings, but it's never as objective as you actually hear it. So.
Well, you have to get there before you can actually tell the difference.
Exactly.
So when you first started, when you played your first violin, that was 40 kwai or 20 kwai? A small one?
Something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
The kitty size. String instruments are actually the hardest instrument to start with, because piano, there's only one size piano.
Okay.
The woodwinds, the brass instrument, there's only one size. It's the adult size. And the string instrument, we have the kitty size. 1/12.
Okay.
1/8.
Why don't you just start with the normal one then?
It's too big. The violin that for a 5-year-old is about this big. Nobody on earth, regardless how good the violinist is, can produce a bearable sound. Let me put it that way. It's unbearable. It's nothing to do with enjoy. Nothing related with that kind of work. So we always say that a small kid is playing the violin is in Chinese we call 杀鸡杀鸭. It means killing the dog and killing the chick.
Making the noise.
It makes a noise. It's ugly. It's horrible.
Right. It seems since your childhood you knew you wanted to be a musician.
In a way, I feel thankful for the attitude that actually my parents gave to me, because he enjoys music a lot. He actually self-taught erhu and the bamboo flute. And
Chinese instrument.
Exactly.
Chinese string instrument.
Yeah. Violin was just, he always wanted to learn, but never had the chance. I mean, due to so many reasons back then. Actually, my grandma told me once that my father told her that he wants to buy a violin. It would cost at that time 5 yuan.
That's a lot.
And my grandma said, "What? 5 yuan? Are you kidding? How on earth am I going to find this 5 yuan for you to buy the violin?" So, and then everything dropped. He never actually got the violin. So when I was young, he wanted me to play the violin. And all he wanted was for me to be able to play the violin and have the hobby.
But not being a professional musician?
Not at all. So I was, in a way, but my father told me that you don't have to do it well, but you shouldn't do it badly. I was never really the best in my class. I was never, in my whole life, the best of my profession. But I was always kind of okay.
Above the average line.
Exactly. So they kept me going. So I was like, oh, it's completely hopeless. So stop. No, there's no future. No, in a way, my teacher was saying, okay, yeah, I mean, he can continue. Yeah. It's always like that.
There's still room for improvement.
Exactly. So there's still some hope. So I always kept playing the violin, and I almost cannot believe that a 4-year-old would voluntarily sit there for half an hour, 1 hour, even 2 hours to play an ugly sound instrument. No.
So you were, again, like so many stories, you were forced.
I was forced to practice. Of course. But I was never forced to get a good result.
So long as you're doing it, that's fine.
As long as I'm doing it correctly, I mean, and properly, that's enough. I mean, this is how I grew up.
Ning Feng was born in Chengdu and began playing music at the age of 4. With his family's support and his father's encouragement, Ning graduated from the Sichuan Conservatory before heading to London's Royal Academy of Music. He studied with Professor Hu Kun and was the first to ever receive 100% on his final recital. And it was a hot life in London, and Ning certainly faced his share of challenges.
Life was so difficult at the time, and the future was not guaranteed.
No.
Compared to your peers, maybe you would find the huge space you need to improve a lot in the future on. What was it like for you at the time?
I was lost. I was really lost. I still remember that when I first started in the Royal Academy, was also the first year that Professor Hu was teaching there. I mean, he has a huge class now, but back then he had like 2-3 students. So sometimes I go to his place to get lessons, not necessarily in the school. And I live up north in London, and he lives down south. It would take approximately like 2 hours to get from where I was living to his place, once to his place to have lesson. And the piece was a sonatina by Schubert. The first movement is about 3 minutes long. And then there's a repeat after the first minute. For that 1 minute music, I spent 1.5 hours with him. Everything was incorrect. Everything was not good enough. It was really note by note that he was teaching me, and I had to make myself reach his standard. On my way back, that 2-hour trip, I was thinking, what am I doing here? Should I give up? Because
just thought about it.
I was thinking about it. I was okay, well, I mean, if I cannot make this 1 minute music right in 1.5 hours, what else can I do? I was really thinking about that. I still remember because I had to take the underground first, and then change, and at the end taking the bus to get back. And the whole way I was like this, very depressed, very depressed.
And you had no one to talk to, because your parents were back home.
Exactly, and back then there's no internet, and it's extremely expensive to make the phone
international calls.
I mean, yeah. So I could only write to them, but that takes like, you know,
A month.
Maybe not necessarily that long, but a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I was really, really, really
Frustrated.
When I left home for the first time in '98, my mom did not cry. I mean, it's like, okay, a boy's grown up. It's like, you know, off to college, which is kind of normal. And I came back 1 year after. She almost could not recognize me. I mean, for the summer holiday. And I left again. My dad told me that she was really crying. Because I was quite chubby before I left. And I was really skinny after 1 year.
Because of hard life, because of the pressure.
Because of mental pressure and also hard life. I mean, financially, mentally, literally 20 kilos. I'm not kidding that actually for like half a year, the money that I had for food for a week is 10 pounds.
For a week?
For a week. I had to survive for the whole week for that 10 pounds. For about half a year.
When you told your parents who wanted you to be just someone with a hobby in music, with an interest in music, but somehow you got yourself into the Royal Academy of Music, that's like the place
Yes.
for classical music. And what was the response like from them?
My parents told me that regardless of what I do, first of all, it's something positive to the society. It's responsible. And the second thing is that they want me to be happy. That's the only two things they want from me. So if what I wanted to do is something good for a human, I mean for the society, and it's something that actually makes me happy, they support.
So at the time, if you did make a decision, say, to come back, they would also support you because they wanted you to be happy too?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So that's like, you know, the attitude, a very positive attitude.
Yeah.
Is that why you started your competition journeys? Because you attended lots of competitions.
Yes, competition for me are meaningful for many, many reasons. First of all, it's give myself a little credit. I was above the average. So in order to finish what the school requires me to do, it's relatively easy. I need a little more challenge.
The bar is different now.
Exactly.
Above average, but the bar is against maybe the best in the industry.
Exactly. To finish what the school requires me to do in order to pass the school exams.
That's no problem at all.
I wouldn't say no problem at all, but it's relatively easy. Let me put it that way. I want to be modest.
Right. Yeah.
But then I wanted more challenge.
Yeah.
So to do that, the best way is to perform on stage. But in order to be able to perform on stage, you have to make yourself, in a way, convinced to other people, okay, this is the person who is worth for us to spend our time to listen to. And to be able to achieve that is to go to competition.
Looking to prove himself, Ning Feng began playing competitions and subsequently started winning. He took first prize at the Michael Hill International Violin Competition in 2005. He also came in first at the Hanover International and the Queen Elizabeth Competition. His final award came from the International Paganini Competition in 2006, a milestone in his career.
If we come back to that competition, you were against the Korean girl. She was like the strongest competition at the time in that contest.
Yeah.
So what made you the final winner?
I don't know.
Again, it's the moment, right moment.
Probably the moment, and also I wasn't a jury there then. I wasn't a jury yet, so it's up to them to decide.
But if you were sitting there as one of the jurors,
it's difficult to say because I don't think we are, in a way, objective enough. We could never be objective enough. So I always only make negative comments about myself. I always tell myself I can improve. I can improve, but I also, the reason why I'm making all these negative comments about myself is for me to improve.
You're always critical about
I'm very critical about myself. I play like 70, 80 concerts a year. For the past 10 years I've been doing that, but I think in my concert years up until now, maybe like 1 or 2 concerts I would feel satisfied. The rest I would always think, okay, no, this is not good enough. The other ones, I could have done better here. I'm actually very Chinese, so I am Chinese. I'm very Chinese. I believe a lot of things that our ancestors told us, the wisdom that they had and they passed on, are the best.
Because when I saw the video of announcing you the final winner at the competition, you were kind of lost or overwhelmed or...
I remember that because I got altogether in total 3 different prizes. So the first prize and 2 special prizes. Most of the competitions they would announce
the final winner.
The final winner at the last.
Yes.
At last. I mean, it's an international competition they did, but they only use Italian to announce the prizes. So nobody was Italian.
Your language sovereignty.
Exactly. What's going on? And I said, okay, all I understood was my own name, and which was being caught relatively earlier at the prize announcing stage. I said, okay, this cannot be good.
Primo premio a Ning Feng.
Because the earlier you got caught,
it's the lower prize.
Exactly. I
Not
said,
the
what's going on? And I was already on stage, and now my name was caught again. I said, okay, what's going on? At the end, I really did not really know which prize they were announcing. I didn't know they were already announcing the first prize. And I kind of knew it because the audience, I mean, the noise they made after the reaction was the loudest so far. But in a way, I didn't want to put my hope too high because I don't want to drop down from that high level. So I was still very, very conservative. And I was shaking hands with each jury. And there was one of the jurors was actually a professor from the Royal Academy. So I knew him. I said, okay. I said, Professor Pauk, did I get the first prize? And he looked very, of course, what are you talking about? I mean, the other one I didn't know. I didn't want to make a fool of myself. And he's the one I knew in person. So I said, did I get it? What are you talking about? Of course. So, but then, yeah. So,
I mean, apart from all these pressure and the prize and everything, the whole experience, that was a fun one.
That's a fun one. It's really fun one. That's really fun one. I was always saying that, I mean, there are 3 stages you have to face. Auditions, exams, competitions, and concert. I mean, there's 3 stages that you have to perform in front of people. So for me, the most relaxed one is concert. Mentally, I'm not really so nervous.
Mentally speaking, psychologically, it's an easy experience.
Yeah, because people are spending their money and time to come to a concert. They want to appreciate. You know, nobody wants to spend money and time to get something which is suffering. So this is the easy one. And then comes the exam or audition. You have the expert from the school, and they would try to figure out what's not good enough, but still they are trying to help you in the future. They're trying to figure out what's not good enough and then help you in the future. But the most frightening stage experience are competitions. Why? Because the people who are actually there listening to your performance are the experts in the whole world.
The
They're
best.
The best ones. And they are paid to figure out what's wrong in your playing and take the points off. And sorry, oops, ciao, bye-bye, it's not good, bye. So this is the most frightening situation. In a way, amusing part was that I was on both sides. Now I have experience on both ends. On stage and now down there listening. And now I'm starting to get invitations to be there as jury. I mean, like the Menuhin competition. And when I was sitting there, listening to the competitions, there's one thought in my mind that actually came out in Chinese. It's 多年媳妇儿熬成婆.
After all these years of hard work, finally you made your way here, right?
I mean, literally translated, actually, a long-awaited daughter-in-law finally became the mother-in-law. So that's precisely what I had at the moment. I was
wanted to laugh.
I mean, I couldn't stop laughing. So, I mean, of course not. I mean, that's before.
Inside.
Yeah, before they started playing. I said, oh, gosh, I worked all these years to get here, but then it feels like it's a loop, that people are in the loop and then rotating, and then it's always new people coming, and then generations get older.
Yeah.
But it's a nice business. It's really a very interesting field, industry in a way. Yeah.
It's a hard journey, but it's a rewarding one too.
It's a very rewarding. I mean, I'm better at it now, but I still have to constantly deal with jet lags and practice, and not always the flight goes on time. So all these things, but when my performance, the minute, the second that I finish my last note on stage, and the reactions that I received from the audience, if I could feel that all this hard work's being well received, that's very rewarding.
It's all worthwhile.
It's all worthwhile.
Ning Feng now lives in Berlin, where he's a professor of music, and he still spends around 9 months touring the world, playing violin. With such a demanding schedule, life can be tough, and managing career and family can often be a heavy burden. But with a positive attitude and a loving family, Ning Feng seems to have found a way.
Now you're a solo artist. You travel so much. It's like, 3-4 days in one place and you're always on the road. Happy with this lifestyle?
No. No. Really, really not. I feel guilty. I really feel guilty. I'm 36 now. My parents are in their 60s. My son is 3. Me and my wife, we live in Germany. And my wife's from Beijing, so we have this, about 2 months in the summer we could come back. My wife's also a cellist. She plays in an orchestra in Germany. And the off-season is about 2 months long. We could come back. But that's the only time my parent, or my wife's parents, can see their grandchild. That's the only 2 months, and we have to divide it in 2. 1 month in Beijing, 1 month in Chengdu. I live in Berlin, but I stayed in my own bed.
In hotels?
In my own bed, probably about 3 months out of the whole year. No more than 3 months. The rest, 9 months, I'm in hotel. And my son's 3 years old now, so he started to react. Now every time I leave, he says, "Papa, I don't want you to go." It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. The past summer, I was back with my parents, and my son was with them for 1 month. And when we left, my mom really told me that her heart is not empty. This is a glamorous for that few minutes on stage, but then the rest 23 hours plus whatever minutes in your life are not that pleasant. Really, really not. I'm very supported by my own family, so I owe them a thank you. But I really feel grateful with what they are doing to me.
You're now a professional artist, but back to the life attitude that you had since your high school. You're okay with being just above the average, not achieving the best. No. Is it still there?
I'm still. For me, I don't have a goal. I only have a direction. Because if the goal is too high, I cannot reach that. What am I going to do? Or I might easily become too arrogant. Everything's so easy. Oh, well, come on. I did what I want. What else? So I don't want myself to be neither of that. So again, it's the same thing since I was doing from my childhood. Do the best what I can and hope for the best. So this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to precisely, in reality, to play every concert the best I can. I tell my students as well, I say, okay, your audience spend their money and their time to come to your concert. They don't have to, to care about how many hours you are just flying or what condition your body is, or whether you are sick or not. They deserve the best. So you have to do your best. You have to make sure that what you're presenting to them, it's up for the expectation. So again, I'm trying to play every concert, every single note from my heart, the best possible I could deliver.
So the best way to describe it is, professionally speaking, musically speaking, you're always trying to be the best.
Yeah, of what I can.
But out of what it might come in reality, you're happy with whatever it is in reality.
Yes.
So that is the future direction you're going.
Well.
You're going to playing all these different great classical works.
Yeah.
Okay, and certainly look forward to that, and certainly look forward to sitting in one of your concerts in China or maybe anywhere else in the world.
It will always come.
And thank you very much for your story, and all the
Thank
best
you.
for you, your career, and your family.
Thank you. My pleasure.